This is Muhammad Hamouda speaking, consecutive interpretation course. Actually, last lecture we have talked about note taking, and we said that the first note taking technique is taking abbreviations or writing abbreviations of the same word. For example, and we talked about several rules of note taking. For example, any word which is ended with shin like these, we can take the first four letters as abbreviated form, then above we write in. For example, construct constitution, we can take concept, const, the first four or the first five letters, and because it is ended with shin, we can write in above, like this form, this, like this. If the word ended with IZE or ISE, we can write the four letters and Z above. Okay, for example, like renationalize, we can write renation, renate within Z above. Or privatize, we can write prov, the first four letters or the first fifth letters, five letters, and when we can take Z above. Okay, mint, we can take NT for any word as an abbreviation for the morpheme mint. For example, government, we can take the first three letters, gov, and we write above it T, means government. Development, we can develop, dev, the first three letters, then T refers to mint, above is written above, and so on and so forth. Able, we can take it as B. For example, fashionable, we can fash as the first four letters and B above, which is abbreviation of able. Okay, regarding the plurals, we said that we take the abbreviated form as we explained above, then we write the S plural here in the line, not above the line, but in the line. For example, we have institutions. We can write inset, with n above function. Then we write S, which refers to the plural form on the line, like this. Okay, this is the word. Mm, this is the plural form, and we also talked about if we want to take a note, a full sentence as a note. First of all, we can write in this is the paper. Here we write the subject, in the middle the verb, and finally in the left we write the object, as you see here. This is subject, verb, object. Okay, the subject is in the right, the object is in the left, and the middle we write the verb in the middle. Okay, if we have if we have more than one subject, how can we write them here as we are when I want to move? Okay, if we have more than one object, we can write this is the verb, this is the object, this is the subject, this is the verb, and we list the objects here. This is the first object, the second part of the object, and this is the third part of the object, as you see. Okay, now if you have more than one subject, for example, the US, Mexico, and Canada have negotiated a free trade agreement, we can write this is the first part of the object or the subject, US, Mexico below, and finally Canada below. Thus, we can write the three components of the subject in the right, on the right and above each other. The same thing is applied if we have more than component in the verb, or we have more than one verb. We can write them in the middle below each other. This is negotiated, agreed, ratified below each other in the middle of the page, referring to the object. Now, if we have a long sentence consisting of more than one subject, or the subject is more than one thing, we have more than one verb, and also we have more than one object, or the object includes more than one element. We can write them in this way. This is the first part of the subject, the second part of the subject, and Canada is the third part of the subject, and they are written on the right below each other. Regarding the verbs, we can write them in the middle. This is the first verb, negotiated. The second verb, agreed. Ratified is the third verb, and they are listed in the middle as you see. Regarding the objects, we can write the first part of the object, the second part of the object, and the third part of the object as you see below each other on the left. So the subject, the main rule is the subject on the right, the object on the left, and in the middle we can write the verb. If we have more than one element, we can list them below each other. Okay, this is what we have talked about last lecture. Now we are going to continue in the same chapter, which is note taking techniques, and we will be enlightened to talk about more than one techniques, other, not only abbreviation, but also we have other techniques, as we are going to see in this lecture. Now, horizontal qualifiers. Actually, we mean by horizontal qualifiers is the adjectives, adverbs, modal verbs, and so on and so forth. Now, if we have an adjective, for example, where we can write it, we can take it as a note before the object, if it is combined with the object. If it is combined with the verb, we can write it, or if it is combined with the subject, we can write it before the subject. As we see, for example, the US, Mexico, and Canada have negotiated an um, ambitious free trade agreement. Look to the ambitious. Ambitious is an adjective. How can we take it as a note? Look at the free trade agreement. It is the object. We can take the object on the right of the page, and before it we can write ambitious like this. This is the subject, this is the verb, and here this is the object, and before the object, beside the object, we write ambitious as the adjective. If we have now a middle verb, when can we note, where we can note the modal verb? The modal verb is noted beside the verb usually. For example, the US, Mexico, and Canada must negotiate an ambitious free trade agreement. Look, these are the subjects are written on the left of the page below each other. Then must and negotiate. Negotiate is the verb. We can write it in the middle, and must is a modal verb. It is written on the middle also beside the verb. And finally, free trade agreement and ambitious. The adjective ambitious is written with the free beside the free trade agreement as you see. So generally, the adjectives, the adverbs, the modal verbs are located beside, or are written beside their components, or beside the term they are associated with. Ambitious is An adjective describes the free trade agreement, so it is associated with the object. Thus, it is written beside the object. For example, modal verb, the modal verb is associated with the verb negotiated, so it is written beside negotiated in the middle. Okay, now let us move to links. Now, actually, we have talked about the sentences alone in isolation. So we take the sentence in isolation as a note. Now it is not if we need to take a paragraph as a note, noting paragraphs. Usually, the paragraphs usually is connected with certain links, such as before, after, because, but, and, in addition, furthermore, moreover, and so on and so forth. So we need to clarify these connections and these links between sentences, how, and we need to take them as notes. For how can we take them as notes? For example, look, we can on the margin we can make a margin, and and in the margin we can take the links between sentences as notes. So look at, this is the first sentence, this is the subject, this is the verb, and this is the object. The second sentence also the subject, the verb, the object, as you see. And here in the margin between the two sentences we write the link, the abbreviation of the link. For example, because, cause is the abbreviated form of because. Now, if we have another sentence, this is the sentence. She is the subject, verb, object, subject, verb, object. So we have noted two sentences. Now we want to clarify the link between the two sentences. We write in the margin a plus, which means and. Okay, uh, but cause, we mean but because. This is the first sentence, this is the second sentence. Below or beside each them, among them, in the middle, we write the type of the link. Okay, as you see now, we have several links in English. For example, look, cause it is taken for all these links because the main reason for this, what is causing this, what's behind this, all these links can be abbreviated as cause, and they clarify the effect of the cause. So the relationship between the two sentences, effect and cause. Now look at this line. We can, it refers to these links, hence this means that the result of this is, the consequence of this is, and so on. All these links uh, are used to refer to the cause or the effect. So the relationship, cause effect relationship, these, and now two, it is can be taken for the purpose, to clarify the purpose. uh, these links in order two or two alone in such a way as two, so that, and these you can read them carefully. Now plus is taken for addition, for like and, not only but also. On top of that there is furthermore, moreover, and so on and so forth. Now if we have no link between sentences, you can draw this symbol, this symbol as you see. E.g. means for example, for instance, in particular, amongst other things, and so on and so forth. Regarding after and before, we can write this symbol to refer to the after and before this line. This is the abbreviated form of before. This is after. After, not then, next. These links refer to the relationship means after, which is then, next, after that, consequently, following that. Regarding the before relationship, we can take this note and like before in advance of. Okay, these are very simple, not difficult actually to take them as advance. Only to need as notes. Only what you need is to know the relationship between the two sentences and take them as notes. Two, for example, B refers to but, however, on the other hand, in spite of, despite, though means although, despite, even though, whilst, cause, and so on. Now let's move to symbols. Actually, symbols is very easy. It is an easy way to be taken and to be used in taking notes. It is why we use symbols. Actually, they are easier to be remembered, easier to be taken, easier to be remembered. So we have three main reasons or four main reasons. The first one, symbols can be easily taken, can they can be easily remembered. Also, they have limited space. They don't have so many space to write, but only a limited space. Okay, so they save space. Also, they represent a concept, not words. Uh, what to note with symbols? Okay, look at these symbols. Okay, if we have the heart symbol refer to want. For example, if we have these words in the sentence or in the spoken word in the spoken speech, want, wish, desire, for, hope for, we can take them as a symbol. We can symbolize them as a heart, as you see. Speak, say, announce, declare, we can use these two commas. Think, consider, and so on, we can use this symbol. Purpose, suggest, put forward, move to, nominate, we can use this symbol. Okay, so this symbol, as you see, these symbols only have limited space and they are easily written and easily remembered, okay, and easily taken. So it is very interesting way to take notes. Symbol is very interesting way to take notes and very easy also. Okay, now if we want to use or to take symbols, actually, or to draw symbols as notes, actually you should take into consideration these things. The first one, or these issues, the first one, the symbol should be unambiguous, should be clear enough, and should be clear enough and unambiguous. It refers to only one concept, not confusing, and it may refer to this concept or that concept. No, the symbol should be refer only to one concept and should be unambiguous and clear enough. Also, the symbol should be quickly drawn. It can draw it quickly. You should prepare the symbols in advance. So how you should, for example, certain words you can draw them. You should make your own symbol or your own system of symbols. Then you can use and apply it during interpretation session. Consistent means that the same symbol means the same in all over the speeches, or the consecutive interpretation sessions. Not, for example, if you heart symbol, as you see, symbolizes all of one of these things in all sessions, on all consecutive interpretation sessions. Not the symbol means a particular thing in a session, in another session it means a completely different thing. No, this leads to confusion, and you should avoid this. Okay, should be also something should be meaningful and mean something to you. Organic. We are going to talk about this issue now. Now, look at for example organic. Look at for example countries, and we draw uh, a line as you see here. This means rising, and rising يعني هو طالع. مدام طالع means development. Before it, increased duties. As you see, science, scientific progress. Patient's recovery. يعني دائما السهم الطالع mean positive thing, refers to it has a positive connotation, and this positive connotation means rising. Okay, improvement or rising or raising or something like this. Okay, now organic symbols. Actually, organic symbols means that one symbol should be the starting point for other related symbols. For example, this symbol we have nation, nationality, nationalize, nationalization. All of these are drawn from the same stem. I mean, all these words are drawn from the same stem. Now we can use a symbol, a certain symbol for the for the certain stem, for the stem, and we can use other things to symbolize the certain word. For example, to clarify this point, we have nation. This square refers to the nation. Okay. Now, if you want to take national as a system or as a symbol, we can draw as nation. Okay, this is the square refers to the nation, and al above the square refers to the national. Now, nationality. It consists of national as a stem, then ality, nationally, ali as an adverb. Which now the square refers to the national, the stem, and we can take ali above the square. Type to nationalize. National, as you see, the square refers to national, and the ZE refers, or the Z alone refers to the verb. Okay, nationalization. Okay, look, national, nation, I mean nation, refer square is a symbol of nation, then T and above or an alone refers to the shin abbreviation. Okay, now if we have national as a noun, we can take, we can draw O to refer that this is a national. Look, okay. Now, the last of these symbols, the circle for the human head. Now, if we draw a circle above, it means that it refers to the person associated with the noun. For example, science. Science is a noun. We can take the first three letters saya as an abbreviated form. Then, if we draw O above the first the first three letters, that means it is an abbreviated form of the person, which is scientist. Okay, يعني simply, very easily we can use or to refer to a person. Okay, is it not? Now, the smiling face, also we have general symbols like the smiling face refers to happy, pleased, interested. Uh, the unhappy face refers to annoyed, unhappy, okay, this symbol to think or to believe. Now, if the idea is very important, to emphasize this idea, we can draw a line. Okay, as you see, say we draw a line under the verb say, that means this is very, very important to put more emphasis and to put. Now, sometimes when you take notes in an interpretation setting, consecutive interpretation session, some information are very important and some information are less important. You need to take the most important and the less important as notes, because you need to convey the message completely, but you at the same time you should highlight the most important issues. Now you can now we need to talk about certain techniques that highlight the most important issues. We need also to take certain or to use certain techniques to highlight the less important issues or the less important information. Now, first of all, we want to talk about the most important issues. Okay, when sorry, the most important issues. Look at topic preparation. No, actually, unfortunately, I missed the page. I am sorry for that. Hmm. This is the page. As you see, we have talked about all of these issues, and they are very simple. Net taking is very important technique, but it it helps you a lot. But you need to follow certain rules that makes taking notes, the process of taking notes, more easily is or easier. Okay, okay, now okay, verticality. Now the most important issues. How can we highlight or how we can take notes the most important issues? First technique is underlining. How actually, but before we are talking about underlining, how can we differentiate between the most important issues and the less important issues? Actually, the most important issues usually are stressed, are uh, falling into rising intonation we follow, or the speaker, the main speaker follows a rising intonation, and he may stress the certain word. So stressing and intonation, through these two things we can figure out the most important ideas, and maybe repetition also. When the same idea is repeated, it can refer, or this can be an indication to that this is an important or a very important issue. Now, the first one, underlining. Look at this sentence. In Kenya, like most African countries, agriculture has continued to be the backbone of the economy. Look, this is the subject. In Kenya, most Africans agree. Agriculture, actually, we underline we underline this word. That means it is very important idea, or this word is stressed, or we have rising intonation in this word. Okay, now other technique another technique is drawing circle. We can circulate this word. And in Kenya, most of Africans, we can draw or agree as an abbreviation for agriculture. We can draw it. That means it is very important and it is stressed. Now we can size of notes. And we have underlining the word, or circulating the word, يعني drawing a circle. The third technique, or the third strategy for noting the most important issue, is writing it in a capital letters, or in the يعني خط أكبر sized or more sized. Look at, if you look to these abbreviations, immediately you will say agree is the most important because it is more, it is written in a capitalized or يعني خط أكبر. Okay, as you said, look at these, they are the same, or mean 80 is written more, the is written أكبر منهم, bigger than, or in more sized lines. Now the fourth technique is shifting left. We can make a margin, and the most important issue, or the most important idea, can be written in the margin. Okay, so this is very important idea because it is written not in the subject, but it is written in the margin. Okay, as you see here, these are the same importance, have the same importance. Why? Because it is written with the same size, and also they are written in the right places, as we see. But if we write them here in the, okay, this means that this is very important in the appendix, or in the margin, I mean in the margin. Now, less important, if we now we are going to talk about the less important issues, or taking notes, strategies of noting or taking notes, these important issues. The first one is brackets. Writing the idea between a bracket, or between brackets, means that this idea is less important, less emphasized than other ideas. Okay, look at this. These ideas, as you see, are written between brackets. That means they are less important than the tea industry and faces. Okay, now shifting right. As we said, shifting left means that يعني writing in the left margin, writing in the left margin means that this idea is very important. When we write the idea in the right margin, means that this idea is less important. Okay, يعني in the right margin more important, in the left margin more important, while in the right margin less important. Now, the last thing is what language to note in. As you see, as a consecutive interpreter, we you are dealing with two languages, the source language and the target language. Now, which language you can use in taking notes? Actually, this issue is up to you. You can take this note in the source language, you can use the target language, but make sure that the language you use should you should have as a system, a fully fledged system, يعني system كامل. You are familiar with it and you know every single step of this system, every single detail of this system, then you can use this system. يعني if you are talking about, if you have Arabic and English, you are interpreting a session from English into Arabic. Now you know the system of English abbreviation very, very well, and you have established your own system of abbreviations. But at the same time, in Arabic, you still don't have a clear idea or a clear system. Then it is better to use the source language system because you are familiar with it, more familiar with it. Okay, now this is the end of this chapter. I hope you get benefit a lot. If you have any question, please feel free to ask. Thank you very much.